Welcome back. Josh Taylor, Gene Collier here with you on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're talking Penguins, we're talking Pirates. 412-575-2600 is the number on the Borson Borders hotline. But before we get to calls and before we get to tweets at Josh Taylor HD, Gene, I want to talk about something else here. We talked about the Pirates beating the Padres. A little bit of news that came down right after the beginning of the game. Josh Bell is a finalist. He's the only Pirates finalist, but he's a finalist nonetheless for the first-year player elections for the MLB All-Star Game. But he was one of the top vote getters in that first base position. He was out in front for a long time. And last time I checked, I think he had an 83,000 vote lead over Freddie Freeman. But it looks like we get to next Wednesday, and next Wednesday at noon, that's when the voting starts. Voters will have 28 hours. So you'll have from Wednesday at noon till Thursday at 4 p.m. to get your votes in for your final starter. Just to vote for the starters, mind you, at each position. Now, of course, pitchers not included in that, but at each position on the field, and also the American League DH. So that's what we're looking at here. Josh Bell, a finalist at first base for the National League. Gene, first of all, your thoughts on Josh Bell being deserving as the first baseman in the National League. Second of all, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this format and the voting.
Yeah, well, I can't believe there's a more deserving first baseman. There are a lot of good ones in the National League, but I think this is actually a tribute to the voters because you can't always count on them. But the kind of season that Josh Bell has put together has just been almost unprecedented in all of baseball history. I mean, you know, his total base number for May was just staggering.
Right.
So I guess he was just too good to be ignored. So now that we go to this format, I'm not really sure how it works with the Electoral College, whether you have to register to vote, whether they have early voting, late voting. Really, from this point on, I just want it to be July 12th. I hate the All-Star Game and everything about it, Josh.
At least it's not the BCS, so that's a step forward.
Right, it's better than the BCS.
So that's actual progress. In the meantime, 412-575-2600. Let's start with Pete in Squirrel Hill. Pete, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, guys, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Pete?
All right, guys, I'm watching a Pirate game tonight. As soon as the game ends, Steve Blass says, this is the reason why you buy a ticket to a Major League Baseball game. The game I was watching, I seen a Pirate catcher drop a pop-up. I seen a guy from each team on second base with less than 2 outs break for third on a ground ball in front of them to the shortstop.
Granted, one of them was
Joe Musgrove trying to pick a runner off at first base. The ball, Josh Bell was trying to tag the guy before he got the ball in his glove.
Yep.
So save your money on the Pirate tickets. Go to any Little League field tomorrow in Pittsburgh, watch the same baseball, and the money you save on the tickets, Josh, buy the kids pizza and ice cream and enjoy the summer day. Thank you.
Pete, relax. Relax. I don't think he was talking about the base running and the bad defense. I think he was talking about the pitching matchup. I think that's what he meant. Because Joe Musgrove was really good tonight. Take all the defense and the bad base running out of it. Joe Musgrove was good. He struck out 8 guys in 7 innings. That slider we talked about at the top of the show was good. The fastball had location to it. He did just about everything right. The one pitch he probably wants back is that home run by Machado. And like I mentioned it before, Gene, Machado's taking a lot of guys deep in the league. But I think it's the pitching matchup. I think it was Musgrove versus Lauer. So you have to credit both guys being able to go out there and keep this game tight throughout.
I think Steve meant that you go to see your team win, and they won, and it was a close game. It was dramatic.
That too.
It was a big crowd. There's fireworks. That's why you go.
And here's the thing. We talk about, if you want to keep talking about traditional National League Baseball, last time I checked, traditional National League Baseball was usually pretty low scoring for the most part. It was a lot of grinded out small ball, get runs across the plate as best as you can. And a lot of times, we talk about the National League being the senior circuit. It's usually considered the more pitcher-heavy, more pitcher-friendly kind of circuit as well. So you're expected to see more pitchers' duels in those kind of games. So as far as the quality of the game itself, I know it wasn't that exciting. There was some bad defense. There was some bad base running. But for the two pitchers going at it, having a pretty good game, and more importantly, the Pirates pulling it out when they needed to, I'm cool with it. I thought it was a game that was worth it.
I like this trope, though, that you can see this at any Little League field. No, you can't. Don't try that.
Clint Hurdle pointed it out after the game, and I thought this was good on him to mention. He said that the crowd that was there, he appreciated that they were there, and he also said, Gene, that he appreciated the fact that they gave Joe Musgrove a nice ovation when he was done for those 7 innings that he worked. Apparently Musgrove, really wanted to go back out for that 7th inning. Yeah. He rewarded his manager and got out clean.
Yeah, well, they're absolutely starved for good pitching. There's that too.
Absolutely. Let's go to John in Banksville. John, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. My apologies, but I want to talk about something else besides Pirates.
Go for it.
I want to talk about the NFL draft. A couple thoughts I have. I agree with you guys. I'm really glad they didn't trade the #1 pick.
Yes.
We need to build the form up a little bit. But the newest rumor going around is Letang to Montreal, and he's the one being chopped more so than Kessel. Now, it sort of cracks me out. You hear these rumors every year that everybody's going to get traded, and they usually have the credibility of CNN, where what you hear never happens. And I really believe guys, sports writers, sit around in bars and say, hey, what kind of rumor can we start? But my question to you guys is,
let's shut that down now.
About...
Let's shut that down because we have a writer here. Thank you for the call. Thanks for the call. If you're going to come here and accuse people making stuff up, you've already wasted our time. Let's not kid ourselves here. When we're talking about these things happening, and yes, there are rumors that happen from time to time, but there are reporters that are out there every day on the phone, talking to people, talking to front offices, whether it's general managers or guys in front offices, getting information from them that you can't get anywhere else. We're not just sitting here around here making this stuff up. So if there's guys that are reporting this, especially guys from The Athletic, guys from CBS, I think I saw 4 or 5 different outlets, Gene, talking about these particular rumors. Now, that's not to say that they're true or false, but it's to say this much. There are people that are getting information from people that know a lot more about what's going on than both the people sitting here and the people on that side of the camera. So to sit there and just say, well, we're making this stuff up, not only is it kind of insane, let's start that. Let's start there. Second thing. Rumors are exactly what they're expected to be. They're rumors. They're speculation. No one's saying because this has been discussed that it's guaranteed to happen. We're also saying it's guaranteed not to happen. Jim Rutherford on an interview with Bob Pompiani and Ron Cook said, look, I'm not saying that I'm ruling out trading those guys, talking about Letang and Malkin, but I'm also not saying that I'm not ruling them out either. So even Jim Rutherford's kind of waffling on what he's saying and what his expectations are. So I don't know exactly what you want people to think or do or believe, but we're going off the information that we get from time to time. Gene?
Well said, Josh. I mean, I will grant you this, caller. You know, there's a difference in the way the news hole exists right now. It's a black hole. It's a 24/7 hole. Things get thrown in there that may not be true, but you know, it's rare in my experience that anyone throws something in there they know not to be true or have no basis at all. And I'll leave it at that. I didn't appreciate your elbow at CNN either.
Now, here's one thing I'll point out. Now, and this is something that definitely happens. We know there are some times that one side will try to play some things up against the other, so they will throw something out there just to see if the other side reacts. Agents have been known to do it from time to time. If anybody is probably more guilty of it, it's agents. We won't deny that. But at the same time, there's information that's put out there. Some of it's put out there as a feeler for a reason. Some information is put out there because it's actually legit, and that doesn't really justify one side or the other. But it's information nonetheless. And these are guys that are out there, and that's their job, is to collect that information. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll answer more phone calls and maybe more tweets. Stick around.